Welcome to our arty party.
It's art and it's tea and it's an arty party. And this is October 2020 and our first episode today. I would like to introduce Viktoryia Sinkovec. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Viktoryia is a Belarusian in Belgium, a multinational mother, lawyer, yogini, journalist, and art lover. Or just lover.
Always
just
lover. Yes.
Lover, not a fighter.
Tamar, Levi, she is an artist, a painter, a children's book author based in Brussels, and learning French.
That's right.
Trying. She grew up in Alaska, educated in UK, and she accidentally fell in love with a Greek man who brought her to Europe.
The hairiest Greek man I could find. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited that we were able to find the day we could do this in advance of this big event next week.
Yeah, what is this big event are you talking about?
So I was invited to do a performance for a TEDx conference, which means it is organized by ULB, a university here in Brussels.
Yeah.
And they will be having the normal TED Talk speakers, but they invited me to do something a bit different, which is a live art performance.
How do people are chosen for this event? Are they really special? What makes you so special?
I feel like I've been questioning this myself. What am I doing here and why? And I was trying yesterday to come up with a percentage of this. Is it 70% who you know and 30% how good your work is? Or is it 70% how good your work is and 30% who you know? I don't know what the percentage is on this, but I think a lot of it is about who is in your community and how you engage with your community over time. And if you're bringing quality work to your community space regularly, you get known for doing a good job.
Yeah.
But you also have to be extroverted enough that people know they can reach out to you, find you, and introduce you to do things. So there's a weird mix of being a quality creator, but also stepping outside of your studio enough that you can create the relationships that move you into spaces that can share your work. So it's very, very tricky to take the hat off of the isolated artist and put the hat on of I'm going out into the world again.
Yeah, especially now in the COVID times when there are a lot of restrictions. So how will it look like?
So it was originally going to be in a conference space near Flagey in the centre of Brussels. And then so many people were interested that they were expanding the event and moving my artwork, which was going to be on the walls, and entering into a new space, which was the Museum of Belgium.
Oh, wow.
So it was going to be in a huge museum, which is very prestigious, and I was very excited to present my work on the walls of a museum. Yeah. However, COVID hit and this pandemic happened, and they had to limit the ticket numbers. So they were no longer able to present it in the museum space. And now they're doing it in what I think used to be a Belgian beer factory maybe, or some sort of old manufacturing building that's called La Maison du Bois. It's near the university, and I think it's still a huge space, but it has fewer numbers and they're more spread out, and that's how they've accommodated the pandemic.
See, but it sounds quite interesting if it's an old place, more authentic for an artist lover.
I was expecting it to be a chateau because it's called La Maison du Bois. And I entered and I thought, this looks like a factory that has rebranded itself as a chateau.
And who will perform? You and someone else, or is it just you?
So I will be presenting a series of artwork on the wall of the event, and I will be performing for the audience with a flautist who is an award-winning flute player named Calliope Bolenvu, and it's our first time collaborating together. So we had less than 10 days where my previous collaborator is based in London. His name is Dr. Eugene Fagelson, and he played the violin in our last performance. But being based in London, he couldn't commute to Belgium as easily as we used to. The world has gotten smaller.
Doors are closing.
So people who we are engaging with need to be our neighbors.
So what's going to be your story? What will you tell us?
This is the trailer for a graphic novel that I've illustrated all in one line. The name of the book is DELPHI, and it's about a little girl whose mother passes away, and she goes to look for her mother in the myths and legends of every culture around the world. And this book almost wrote itself, because every culture has a story about looking for someone you love who is not here. And it was very easy going into the British Library and finding folklore after folklore after folklore that told the same story about missing someone you love and going to look for them and trying to bring them back. However, I wrote the story along the arc of traditional grief. So she goes through anger and denial and eventually through a catharsis. So the books, similar to all the books I've co-authored or illustrated in the past, have an educational tool at the heart of them. And this book is what's called thanatological. It's about the concept of death, and it's to be used when a child is going through an understanding of what is death, and perhaps a family reading it together can get to the catharsis point of grief and bereavement and understand how to, as a family, move forward with a positive perspective at the end.
This will be the message on the wall. You're going to send it to us, to
so
people.
The event on the October 22nd event of the TEDx conference is the trailer for the larger graphic novel. And I was asked by the gallery that I just had my last exhibition in to do another performance in September. And I was trying to think if I would do something different, and I decided, no, I must complete this book and bring the next chapter forward.
It's very deep, especially for kids who are not educated enough about the topic like that.
I feel that Victorians talked a lot about death, but not a lot about love, and we talk a lot about love, but not a lot about death. So when death does come up as a topic, parents tend to go blank and not know how to process it in discussion with a child. As a children's book author, I use my home library a lot to explain things to my kid. If she needs to work through anger, I'll pick up a book about cooling down and breathing and calming through anger. Or if we're going to the dentist, I'll pick up a book and we'll read a book about going to the dentist and figuring that out together. Or the day before school, we'll read a book about going to school and what is school all about. And I feel like, to me, it is an amazing tool to have a book that you as a parent don't have to creatively come up with the best words right on the spot. But having someone who spent nearly 15 years working on this project,
it's a lot.
It means that I can gift it to parents and know that I've saved them that task.
So do you think the project that you're going to write on a wall or paint on a wall will be useful also for kids, so kids can come and join and see your performance?
This is the introduction, and I had done the, let's say, practice version of it previously with my collaborator, the violinist, and children were present in that audience. I feel that perhaps 5 years old and above could sit through 10 minutes. But depending on the child, maybe younger, but that would be up to the parents who are experts of their own child to know whether they can sit
that's
through.
True. What did you want to give through your message?
I feel that illustrating big ideas has been the the practice that I've brought forward through my career as a children's book illustrator, always working with big, big ideas that are complicated and need some visuals. The thing that I want to bring through this message in the performance next week is the continuous line method with live music can be very exciting and very interesting. A lot of people have never seen anything like this before. So I hope people will be excited to see live art happening and engaging with classical music improvised for a performance. And going on the theme of the classical music, I would love for children to be more engaged with classical music.
That's true, yeah.
If I mix it all together.
If I might ask, do you think you will go into a meditative state while you are performing?
I would like to think that I would, because I need to blank out all the faces that are looking at me, and I also need to stop the critical thinking side of my brain and allow myself to fluidly go into my art on the creative side of my thinking. I would love to ask you, as a professional who shares breathing techniques, if there's anything you could share with me as advice. So do some art therapy for the artist.
Yeah, I understand. I think what would help you on the spot is bring your awareness to your breathing. That's how it helps to switch off the mind. You start drawing, but you bring all your attention to your breathing. You inhale and you exhale, and you can repeat inside yourself, inhale and exhale, and then you can also use your thumb of your right hand and do the alternate nostril breathing. The technique of, it's like a U-turn breathing, where you inhale, you close the right nostril with the thumb and you inhale with the left nostril. And then you close the left nostril with the index finger and exhale through the right nostril. And inhale through the right nostril. And exhale through the left nostril. And you keep going just before your show. You will feel the difference when you just arrive rushing with all your tools and then you take 10 minutes before the show and you start breathing. You breathe and you breathe out, and all the tension will go away, and you will feel different. Your nervous system will calm down, you will cool down. Or if you need to do something on the stage, you can also just close the left nostril and breathe with the right nostril. And this will bring all your concentration back
to the nostrils.
You will no longer feel distracted by any noise. It's gonna be just you and your board.
Thank you
and
so
your
much.
love. And what will you use to draw?
Well, this is the dilemma. If there are more than 250 people,
Yes.
I would need to be drawing bigger. So I'll have to be using a darker, bigger ink. And I'm not sure if I can enlarge my images, because it takes a big physical movement to enlarge it very big. So I'm hoping to do a test run on Saturday morning with the paper and the boards that will be part of the performance next week, and see how big I can do it. One of the things I worry about as an artist is if I enlarge it too much, if it will lose some of the detail that gives it the quality that I like. So it's going to be a work in progress, actually, a work in progress in public.
I'm sure it's
on
gonna.
stage.
I'm sure everyone will love it because it's new. I haven't seen anything like that in TED. Maybe I'm wrong, because I follow TED Talks, and to me, every talk is special. So the message that you want to send to all of us, it's gonna be special because it is special. It's different.
Thank you.
Different it's coming from your heart.
Yes.
You wanna share. You wanna bring this message to every person sitting in the room and outside in the world.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the breathing techniques to help me get through some of that stage fright. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. So let's have a little bit more tea.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. And enjoy the afternoon, and we wish you a pleasant day with our company, with the tea party, with Tamar and Viktoryia.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.